Alright guys, 2006 Nissan Murano, and we're gonna change the axle. In this video you will learn how to change the axle. And as you can see, this boot is ripped out, all the grease is completely gone, and this axle makes a clicking noise when you make a right turn. And the other axle was changed not too long ago. When there's a noise in the axle, you're not gonna know which one it is. Usually you gotta do both, but we are assuming there's no grease in this one, and that's the reason why it's making a click 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 noise on a turn. And plus it's got to go anyway, because as you can see, this axle is done. All right, to remove this axle, what we're gonna do is we're gonna remove a lot of things, and we're gonna show you everything. All right, we'll start off by taking off this little piece here. That's just a retainer that holds the brake line in place. Make sure you put it back, and then you can push the cable out a little bit. Next, we'll remove this little ABS cable from the housing, because you don't want this to stretch and you don't want this to pull out. And this ABS cable also goes on the other end, so we'll just turn a little bit. That's it. And we'll remove this one here. This is gonna give free play to the ABS line and the brake line. Next, what we'll do is we'll take out the tie rod next. We're gonna go down here, we're gonna remove this bolt here for the tie rod here. Alright, so this is number 22. We're gonna take out that bolt. It didn't have a cotter pin, but when we do finish the job, we'll put it in a cotter pin. Alright, so next what you do is you take your hammer, you're gonna hit the spindle, just like you're gonna see in this video. And the tie rod should just pop out of the housing. Next, we're gonna turn this spindle around a little bit. We're gonna see if there's anything else left, and that's it. There's nothing left. We're not gonna take out the linkage, all right? Now what we'll do is we'll remove this cotter pin here. You could use some tweezer or plier to pull this out. You straighten out the cotter pin, and then you can pull it out with the plier or a needle nose, anything that can grab and pull for you, and you put that to the side. Next, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take out the axle bolt that's right there. Right, that's the bolt that we're gonna take out. All right, this one is a 32mm socket. This is the socket. It's a big fat socket, goes right on it. And we'll use our impact gun. Like that. All right, next, one thing is left now is we're gonna remove the spindle that holds onto the shock, the strut, whatever you want to call it. That's the bolt we're gonna take out. All right, next, we're gonna move these bolts for the spindle. You're gonna have to use an impact gun on one side and a wrench on the other side to hold it. 22, and you can adjustable wrench on this side to hold it. We're gonna do the same thing with the bottom bolt. Now what we're gonna do next is we're gonna take out these bolts. You can hit them softly or move around the spindle a little bit. Just make sure you don't stretch the ABS cable or the brake line. There you go. And then you're gonna let down this spindle a little bit. Axle should fall out just like that if it's not too rough. Sometimes the axle is jammed in the spindle. Alright, what we'll do is we'll bring out the axle this side. Alright, what we're gonna do is we're gonna remove this little plastic cover here. That way we have more room for this axle to come out this way. And we're gonna come right back once this is out. Alright guys, so what we did was we just took this axle and put it to this side. Next, what we're gonna do is we're gonna bring out this axle. Alright guys, next what we're gonna do is we're gonna pry this axle out of the spot from right there. So all you do is you yank it out. Alright guys, we're trying to push this axle out and we almost got it. We tried a couple of things, it wasn't coming out. So what we did was we put pry bar in the back and we hit the pry bar at the end and it's coming out just like that. Then all you do is you put the pry bar right there and you hit it and it comes right out. Alright guys, there's the housing where the axle sits. We got the axle out. Make sure that ring is on it. See that little ring on the intermediate shaft? Because that's where the ring, that's the ring that holds the axle in place. All right, and we're ready to put that new axle in there. All right guys, here's the new axle. This is the axle that's gonna go in, and it's ready to go in. Go ahead. So what you do is you take the axle, you line it up first in there. Make sure you line it up good, all right, teeth to teeth. Make sure it's nice and straight. Once you have that in place, what we're gonna do next is we're gonna get a rubber hammer or mallet type of hammer and we're gonna hit it right in the back. All right, now we're gonna hit this axle. Make sure you hold it straight. All right, just be careful here. This, we don't want to rip the boot on this. You could hold it at an angle, doesn't matter. I'm gonna hit it just like that. When you hit a clock, it's in. That's it, all right? We got this axle in, and now we're gonna finish out the rest of the job. All right, guys, now we're gonna take this axle and put it into the spindle. He's gonna remove that little screwdriver that he used to hold the spindle. And slowly take this out. And what you're gonna do is get the axle in there, reroute it. And then you're gonna align the spindle and the strut together. Meanwhile, he's gonna put that little screwdriver there to hold it, and then he'll push in the axle, Make sure you get the axle to come off from the other end, just like that. That's it, all right? So the axle is in its spot. We can put the bolt on, but we're not gonna tighten it yet. All right, so we're ready to put in these strut bolts. That's gonna hold the spindle and strut together. All you do is you line it up. And you get the bolt in there. Once you get one bolt, it's gonna be easy to do the second one. All you're gonna do is push back, put the bolt in. All right, make sure you put the nuts on the other end. We're gonna tighten those, we're gonna tighten the axle, and we're gonna put the ABS cables back together and the brake line. Alright, so you take your impact gun with the 22 and you're gonna hold this end with the wrench or you can use adjustable wrench. It's 22 and 17 on the other end, or 19. And that's it, it's nice and tight. We're gonna put the ABS cables where it belongs. Same thing on the other side. And then make sure you get the brake line with the little clip. Before you put the retainer, make sure you line it. It has like a little angle to it. You put this retainer in, all you do is you tap it from the back. Tap it with the flathead or wrench or something, pry bar. So you do, you tap it. And that's it, all right? That's in, we're pretty much almost done. What we're gonna do is, we're gonna put the tie rod in. And the bolt goes in the bottom. You can tighten that, and this one didn't have a cotter pin, but we'll put it. Alright, and next, we'll put the cotter pin in next after that, but let's finish out the axle. And we're gonna tighten this axle bolt. This is 32. So you get your 32 socket, that's not 32. Alright guys, so we did have the socket. This new axle comes with a new bolt, and they changed the size. So this is 35 millimeter, right? So we're gonna tighten this nice and tight. Couple of more hits, and that's it. And we're gonna put the cotter pin in, and we're done. All right, that's how you do the axle on a 2006 Nissan Murano.